Hello again, brothers and sisters in Christ. Pastor Mike here. Welcome to our midweek meditation. It is the week after Easter Sunday. I'm tired. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit tired. Last week was good. Last week was wonderful. And that's how I want to begin, is with a thank you. Thank you to everyone that helped make Holy Week happen. I know last week I mentioned, Brenda, the Luther League, and all the folks that helped make Palm Sunday possible. The wonderful ice cream social with the sloppy joes and the Easter egg hunt and all those things works wonderful every year. Thank you to everyone that made Maundy Thursday possible. Good Friday, Altar Guild always does a wonderful job getting all those things set up, doing all that work, getting the lilies, the readers, the folks that help get everything done around here, social media folks. Dina does a good job with that. Just people left and right helping out. And then Easter Sunday itself. Council did a great job with the breakfast. It was good to see folks. It was good to see people helping out. It is at its heart, as we are celebrating Easter, it is good to recognize all the folks, all you folks that help make our celebration, our earthly work around it happen, and it is good. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you again. Obviously, Easter at its heart, because we're moving to the texts. Got to do the thank yous. We're moving to the texts. Are about the resurrection. All the Gospels have it. All they have the stories. Mark's is always more interesting because I've historically sometimes called him the get or done Jesus, because he's not there. There's not an appearance there at the moment. A lot of the other stories, you have Jesus appearing there then pretty much afterwards to the apostles that show up, often to Mary. One of the great ones is where Mary mistakes him for the gardener. It's like, hey, where's Jesus? You're the gardener that works here. It's like, no, you're not getting me. I'm Jesus. But Mark does something very different. Mark has Jesus already ahead in Galilee working, which is fascinating. It is a fascinating take that in the resurrection, Jesus is always already out and about spreading the good news. In many ways, I find Mark to be the most missional of the resurrection accounts. It is time. It has happened. All the stuff, any messianic secrets, any of the stuff that you're supposed to keep to yourself, let them loose, man. Go make the good news known. And that is one of the pieces that, unfortunately, while talking about the resurrection, because there's so much going on Easter Sunday, I don't get to hit, and that's why I want to talk about it. The missional aspect of it. Their lives were changed. All the apostles, the disciples, all those that knew him and who he was and what he was about were changed in this moment. That he was correct. He told them, but they didn't get it. It was too much to believe, this, that, and the other, but he did rise. And that changes everything. It changes us. It changes the world. It changes all those things. And it is out of this change and this joy and this hope, he has gone on ahead, and we are to follow in his steps, bringing the good news. That, I think, is the heart of Mark's resurrection story. Go. Don't wait here, man. Don't cool your heels. There's stuff to get done. Sun is up in every sense of the word. Let's go. And I appreciate that. And that should always be a call for us. Why do we do outreach? Why do we do mission? It is not about nickels and noses. It is about that this good news is good, man. And there's a lot of bad news in this world. It was a hard year to preach on the resurrection with so much death. To try to do a fair job of the text, but also, our reality, because there is always a tension with our understanding of the resurrection and the bleakness of death that surrounds us. There's always that tension. Sometimes I think we are a Saturday people. You know what I mean? Friday he died. Most of Saturday, is this in between death and resurrection. And some days I feel like a Saturday person, that I stand between it. A lot of death, a lot of hope, a lot of joy. Every death is a sorrow for the broken world, but every birth of these little Lutherans that come skipping along is a shout to the resurrection and that God ain't done. Yeah. Yeah. And that is Easter. But it moves on as well. Because there's always, in Easter Sunday, there's always a resurrection text. But the Sunday after Easter, there's always Thomas. And you've heard me once, you've heard me 1,000 times. This is probably my most repetitive sermon ever, so I apologize. But again, a lot of people don't come to the Sunday after Easter or Easter too, so what are you going to do? It is about Thomas and the poor guy and his bad rap. Especially as those of us who have known the story, have seen it come to its fruition thousands of years ago. It's doubting Thomas. I mean, again, we forget his situation. And that is one of the great pieces to take away from that. I'll focus on us and the grace there, but in here I'll focus on the grace and the others. Is that we might not know the fullness of what somebody is going through and why they struggle with something. You know what I mean? Thomas was struggling, man. He missed out. He wasn't there. All the other dudes were there. They saw him. They were able to do whatever they needed to do to have faith restored. But he wasn't there. Again, I don't know. I wasn't there while he wasn't there. I'm assuming there was some fear, some worry, some other stuff. I'm assuming it wasn't, a Panera Bread trip, pick it up Dunkin' for the boys. I'm assuming it was for a good reason. And in that, we as a people don't show him enough grace. He had a hard go. There are numerous times in our world that people have a hard go, and we don't know why. That is one of the reasons I love Luther's 8th commandment, man. Don't bear false witness. Well, it's not Luther's 8th commandment, but Luther's exposition on the 8th commandment. Don't bear false witness. In it, Luther calls us to see our neighbor's actions in the best possible light. And I often interpret what he's talking about for asking us to pause and ask the question, do I know the fullness of what's going on in that person's life? That I can, with a certain level of confidence, know that they are obviously a horrible person, a horrible coward, or just the worst human being ever met? No. Especially when you're driving with them. I mean, my 8th commandment struggle is, and I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up if the cows come home. Left turn lane, There might be something going on at the first person left turn lane. Still grinds my gears. But the theological struggle and the pastoral struggle is trying to give them grace because I don't know what's going on up there. I know my first reaction is, well, they're obviously a maniac, right? They're not paying attention. Maybe there's a kid in the backseat puking. Maybe it's a mom in a minivan. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe the waitress that is a little bit slow today had a grandmother die. Maybe her boyfriend that she was hoping would, propose, they'd get married, just dumped her out of the blue. We don't know. And obviously, on some level, we need to come with it a compassion. I'm not saying that it's a blank slate, that anybody can do anything to us. I'm not saying that. Don't hear me say that. But we need to be mindful of, do we react to the situation by filling in the blanks that justify ourselves and our reactions? Because that's what we've done to Thomas. He's clearly a doubter. If we would have been there, we would have had no doubt. We would have waited outside the tomb for it to be rolled aside. No, we wouldn't have. We wouldn't have. We, like the rest, would have turned tail and run. That's the nature of the beast. And so that is the call in the midweek meditation on this one. The spreading of the good news and the grace for those that we might encounter, even while spreading it, that we don't know what is going on with them. And that we do not spread it in a ways of judgment and anger, but of connection, of hope, of compassion. And knowing that Jesus, when he heard that Thomas was having a hard go, he showed up and he gave him what he needed. And that there is good news. All right, blessings, brothers and sisters in Christ. My prayer for this week is that if you need me, let me know. And that you encounter the risen Lord, maybe not in Galilee, but in your neighborhood, and he gives you what you need. Blessings. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.